thought leadership and innovation, relationship cultivation, business engagements and collaborations, etc., where members can grow, learn, collaborate, and thrive in their respective fields, ultimately contributing to a stronger and more interconnected professional community. As we gather here, celebrating the ingenuity, vision, and prowess of our distinguished guest in the world of marketing and growth hacking, we are truly privileged to have amidst us a luminary in brand marketing, Mr. Anuj Agarwal, founder, Big Mouth Social and Strategy Inc., whose expertise in shaping and amplifying brand identities has left an indelible mark in the industry. His innovative strategies and creative brilliance have not only elevated brands but also have connected deeply with audiences, setting a standard of excellence for all marketers to aspire and achieve. Mr. Anuj and team is also a 5x growth hacker whose unparalleled ability to propel rapid exponential growth has redefined the very essence of strategic expansion. Their exceptional insights, unconventional creativity has been the very essence of their strategic expansion. Their data driven approaches have continuously propelled companies towards extraordinary successes, making them a beacon of inspiration for growth hackers worldwide. This coffee meet isn't just about celebrating their achievements, it's a platform to glean insights, gather inspiration, and foster connections that propel us all forward. Their experiences and expertise will undoubtedly ignite sparks of motivation within each one of us, encouraging us to strive for greatness in our own entrepreneurial journey. Once again, I welcome you all to our first Visionary Circle coffee meet. I also have Ms. Kadambari here, the founder, WEDO and VWC, to welcome Mr. Anuj Agarwal, the guest of the hour.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you very much. And I'm extremely privileged to have Mr. Anuj Agarwal here. And thank you very much, sir. Probably if you could get on camera, it will be really nice for us. If you're ready, you can get on camera. Hi, Mr. Anuj. How are you? Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm
You
fine.
can.
I'm fine.
Hey, super, super. So, in fact, we wanted to meet you in person, but I think this is a great start for all of us. I'm sure when we come to Pune, we're going to definitely meet you. And to all of you who are going to watch this live, and Visionary Women's Circle is an initiative to empower women entrepreneurs, get them into a common platform, and also get in a lot of knowledge and a lot of resources which could actually help us accelerate our growth. And Mr. Anuj, I'm sure your insights today for us and for us members and also for women entrepreneurs out there is going to definitely help us make some digital decisions for our business. So thank you very much once again for accepting the invite and participating and spending time with us to share your insights with us. Thank you, Mr. Anuj.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you, Divya, once again, and all the very best to the team. Thank you, everybody. Yes.
Thank you,
Over to you.
Kadambari, for joining us. Thank you. Hi, Anuj. Now the stage is all yours.
Hey, hi. Um, you guys can see my screen. Okay. Devaji, how many participants we have, and can they type in into the chat? Do we have that facility here?
Yes, yes, Mr. Anuj. Actually, we have members out here in the chat room. We have almost 8 of them here. And
Okay.
there are also others watching through our LinkedIn, and our members watching this live. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Uh, the topic today I want to introduce to you all is common sense as a mindset. Okay, we all all know the term common sense, and when common sense as a term comes into our mind, we all the first thing that comes into our mind is common sense is not that common, right? But breaking down common sense as a term into two words, what comes in our mind when we hear the term common, right? Common has like two connotations, right? Common means regular, usual thing, not so rare, not so unknown, right? But common also can be termed as something which is ignored or something which is not given importance to, or let's say in the literal translation of common in Hindi would be aam, and like the common man, aam admi, and the normal thing, the common term uh, we that comes in our mind is that it is ignored, right? And the second part of the word is sense, and what comes in our mind when we hear sense is like the five senses we have. We can hear, we can see, we can taste, we can touch, the stimuli that comes, and then uh, um, how we react to that stimuli. So common sense in this way is uh, generally taken as a term where we say that when things are very obvious, it's called as common sense. But in the today's lecture, or in today's talk, we are going to discuss how to dissect common sense and how common sense mindset can be a very effective strategy. Um, can we make this a little interactive? Is there a way where I can see at least few faces so I know that people are with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will add in a few participants. I'll add myself and Divya as well. I'm right here.
Okay. um, what this lecture is a little interactive kind of, because the terms that I'm going to use, I want you to guide through a mindset by interacting with you guys. So if the chat box I think is open, if those who cannot come on screen, maybe be active on the chat. I have a question here, that what do we mean by life? If
Okay,
anybody.
so life probably could be a set of our experiences, the way we perceive things, the way we want to really gain experiences from, learn, and I think along with the journey that's we're already living. So could be.
Right. So when it comes to life, right, we take birth, and eventually we know that there's an end destination, and everybody would have the same destination, right? And uh, it's from start to end, right? But life is not about coming into existence and eventually say goodbye, right? Life is all about what happens in between, right? Uh, uh, Sadhguru once said in his podcast that if every eventual destination is death, are we running a rat race to die? Right? We are not. What we are living in between these 2 points is life. And to sum up, it's a journey, right? Life is a journey where we learn, we grow, we mature, we evolve, and we
Yes.
update ourselves and we evolve ourselves. And as all journeys, life as a journey is not simple. And what complicate any things, if you want to say that let's keep it simple and break down everything in simple bits and simple elements, what complicate things? Uh, when are you ever in a trouble? Divya, if you may answer, or Swpna, you can participate.
Uh,
So
Maybe it's
probably
because of the decisions and the strategies that we apply in life. maybe the outcomes of the
Maybe the
decisions and the
maybe the
strategies.
outcome decisions, strategies. Swapna ji?
Could be the perceptions, how you want to look at the situations, or how you want to, basically react to the situations that are happening could also complicate lives.
Perfect. So if they were if others also participate, they'll realize that we all come up to one single word, which is choices. Whenever life presents us multiple choices, whenever we have multiple options available, difficulties start up. When we have multiple priorities, when we have multiple options, when we have multiple aspirations, when we have multiple things to do at a time, there comes a problem of choice. And life is all about taking that choice, the taking that decision for that available choices that we have, right? So life is nothing but taking that right decisions at each step, so that you make the best choice for yourself, which would take you forward, right? Which will help you evolve, grow, learn, mature, and take you one step ahead of your existing position, right? So decision is to take take the decision is to take the best choice in all the available options that you have, right? And in management terms, the decisions that you take should be in the should, uh, अपन नीचे देना चाहिए. If whenever, so decisions are when you take choices between the best available options, and it should be the most effective and efficient option when it comes to management, right? In management, you say that you have limited resources. In those limited resources, you have to get the best outcome, right? So decisions between those choices which take you to your destination in the most efficient and effective way, right? And that's how management could be defined, right? So it all comes up to this small two, three terms, which is decision making between choices. Every choice you take helps you get to your destination in the most effective, efficient way. And that's how you learn, grow, mature. And that's how you enjoy the journey called life. And that journey called life could be in your management or in your personal stuff, anything. So very complicated thing, very simply put. But it's not that easy always, right? Because a lot of times you don't know what your best choice is, or what the best option is, or maybe you don't know, uh, you don't have that clarity in your mind ki what will happen when you take a certain kind of decision or certain kind of option. If you select a certain kind of option, what would be the outcomes and what are the uncertainties involved? So here, I want to take you to an analogy, right? If you say uh, set sail and leave, say from Mumbai. So everybody of you are from Mumbai. So we say JNPT port पे से हम लोग निकले, हम लोग एक boat में बैठे. So we sit in a ship and we just leave from Mumbai. Uh, where are we going? Divya ji, where are we heading? So we have set sail. We say build up a. We have got into a boat or a ship or say cruise, and we are leaving from Mumbai. Where are we going?
A specific place that we chose as an individual or as a team based on our interests, based on our choices, where we want to go to.
Right. So till the time you don't have a destination, it's very difficult to leave. Also, right? You cannot actually take the first step or make the first choice unless and until you know where you are heading to. So, say for example, we are going to say Dubai or US. थोड़ा लंबा जाएंगे, we'll go to New York. Okay, so we are heading towards New York. So we leave from Mumbai in our cruise towards New York. Unless and until we know that we have to go to a certain destination, we cannot set sail, right? And once we have defined our destination, then we know that what direction we need to go, right? Unless or else we'll just wander around in the vast ocean, right? So to be able to define what decisions you're going to take or what choices you're going to make, you first need to know that what is the end result that you are willing to have, right? So you sat in the cruise, you uh, started your journey through the through, say, the vast oceans, right? but but it but as we said, right, no journey is simple. We have to be um, very involved, because अब क्या हो गया, the cruise that we have set on sail in would get, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि it's all a smooth journey. Once you are in deep into waters, you would not be able to the see any lands behind, nor then you can see the lands ahead, right? It's a vast ocean, right? So, and if, say, you get lost, what is going to bring you back on track? When you are on cruise, what is going to bring you back on track?
The choice to reach that destination no matter what.
But then you don't know. Now you have lost your direction, right? Because you're in deep waters. You started towards New York, but now you're lost because you don't have any reference point to look at to see where you are heading. So what would keep you on track?
Probably the presence of mind to cross that particular situation.
Yes, you have that presence, you have that determination, you know that you have to reach to the goal, but you have lost your track. So you would, in a ship, you would require, say, something which guides you and keeps you on track towards your goal, right? So you need a guiding compass, or maybe in old days, the guiding star, that you follow this star and you will reach to this direction, and you know which direction you're heading, right? So you would need a guiding star or a guiding compass which takes you to that destination, right? So um, in any journey or in any process, if you don't have that goal, you would not know where you are heading. And if you don't have this tools and techniques, or this compass, the guiding star that keeps reminding you of the goal, which keeps you on track to that goal, right? Then you would be lost in the vast oceans, right? So it's not just about taking decisions and taking choices, but it is also to empower yourself with enough tools and techniques that will keep you on track towards that goals, right? So आपको जर्नी है, स्टार्ट है, एंड है, from point A to point B you have to go. There's a path. The path is not difficult. There would be multiple choices that would be presented, but you have to take the best choices to be on the most effective, efficient path. And also you'll have to empower yourself with a lot of tools and techniques so that you know that you are on the right track, right? So uh, what happens when you uh, uh, what happens when you know your goal? When you know your goal, you know that even if you're lost, with tools and techniques, with the compass in hand, with your guiding north star, maybe, or maybe with the compass, you know that you would be back on track, right? So goal helps you to be on track, right? But like uh, Titanic knew that it has to leave England and it has to reach US, and they knew that it's an unsinkable ship. Nobody can touch it, and it was all so marketed well and also loud. And on its first trip itself, their focus was clear. They had to reach their destination. Their confidence were there. They were determination. They had enough tools and techniques, and uh, 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 they were empowered enough to sail through that journey, right? But what mistake Titanic did? If anybody wants to contribute, what did they do wrong?
Uh, from what I remember watching the movie, I think they were probably not equipped with enough lifeboats to save a lot of people in case of a crisis.
So that not equipped with lifeboats was post crisis. What could they do to avoid the crisis, right? So they had this vision that they had this confidence that nothing can stop that. They had this confidence that they were sailing in an unsinkable ship, right? And
Right.
they had that
Nothing
end
would go
destination.
wrong, thought.
Nothing would go wrong, kind of things, and they had that end destination in their mind, so they know their track. They were very clear about their track, right? So
The
what
second,
Titanic? Yes, ma'am.
the second, the second option for that, if something happens, like if there is no second like way for that option, second option. अगर ये
There were
नहीं
no,
तो
they didn't had any second option, or rather say that they were so fixated on a certain track that they thought that there would be no challenges, no hurdles in that path, right? So small iceberg coming in their way, they just ignored. So just ignored the hurdle in that journey, thinking that they are on to a bigger objective. Their goal is bigger than the small iceberg, right? But but as after Titanic, we all know that the iceberg is much bigger than what it is seen, right? So they couldn't see the bigger challenge because they were so fixated towards the bigger goal, and that immediate challenge that was presented in front of them, they missed that. They missed that iceberg. They thought that, अरे ये तो बहुत छोटा सा challenge है, our unsinkable ship can just cross it without any problem, and then just they, they just crashed into an iceberg with full confidence, and they just sank, right? They just sank because howsoever big goal you have, howsoever big aspirations you have, howsoever clear mindset you have to reach towards that goals, howsoever tools, techniques, technology you have to sail yourself through that journey, it's more important for you to understand that the journey is more important than the goal, right? The journey is more important than the goal. Once you are on the journey, there would be multiple challenges presented to you, and solving those challenges, taking decisions which are most effective, efficient to you on all those challenges that come on your path in that journey, is more important than your goal. If you don't have the goal, right? If you don't have the goal, then you there would be two challenges that will come to your path. First, let's take example of a ship itself, right? So our WEDO ship is also on sale, right? We left from Mumbai, we are going to US, right? So say an iceberg comes in front of us, but today we know that icebergs are not just to go through crashing them. We know that those are undestructible, unmovable objects, so we will have to take some another path. We'll have to change our way a little bit so that we tackle this challenge for now and keep ourselves on our goal, right? If we don't know our destination, we will not know what change in path we will require and how back we will come on our track to reach to the end goal. So two things will happen. We will not know how to think out of the box and innovate, and we will not take risk because we don't know our end destination. If we don't have that goal defined, we will not know. We will see an iceberg and we'll just halt. Array, this is unmovable. If we move right, we will get lost. If we move left, we will get lost. We know only one path, which is a straight path, and now we have an unmovable object. So what to do? If you don't have the end goal in mind, but now that you know that we have to reach to say New York, even if there's a hurdle in between, we will we will see what next best option we will have. We will change our path, and now that we have our guiding star, we have our compass, we can realign ourselves to our path, right? So we will not think of out of the box and innovate unless and until our goal is defined, nor we will take any risk. If we don't know the end in our mind, if we don't know our end destination, maybe we will not take risk. We will say, यार मुझे वैसे भी पता नहीं कहाँ जाना है. This is the maximum that I can do. This is the maximum I can maximum that I have. I don't have answer to this difficulty or this problem. So I'm happy with whatever I am. I'm content with whatever I have. So I will not take risk. I will not enterprise. I will not go and accept challenges with uncertainties unless and until I don't have goal in mind.
Mr.
Right?
Anuj, I have a question over here. When we
Yes,
talk
please.
about crises, especially
Right.
in businesses and entrepreneurship, what do you think are the kind of crises people fail, especially, face, especially when it comes to the brand longevity or sustainability? Could you please throw some light on that?
Um, um, Let me finish with the common sense part of it. Let me get onto this point that what I meant with common sense mindset, and how we can use this common sense mindset and your answer to your question in brand perspective, right? So I'll be back on that, say in next 15 minutes, once we are aligned with the concept of common sense as a mindset, right? So um, and you guys might be thinking that हमने common sense से start किया था, हम goal setting से and journey पे, why are we there on goal setting and journey? I will connect the topics very soon, so and you would realize that why all this is important in the brand making journey or in the marketing sense, right? So importance of goal we established, right? And importance of decision making the journey of through the journey. We know the goal, so we know that there would be challenges coming up. We know that there would be we need to innovate. We need to take risk. We need to think out of the box. We would need to take decisions. Decisions we know we have to take when choices, when we have multiple choices, we have to select the best choice out of it, and that's where we make decisions, right? Why this is important? Because again, marketing, branding, and all those activities and any other function in our business is all about taking decisions. I have a small question and I want a unanimous response to this from all our participants, all 6 7 participants that we have, maybe those who are on screen, maybe those who are on chat. uh, who would be more successful in an army setup? आर्मी में कौन ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल होगा? A farmer from a village, or say a person or a citizen from a urban setup? Who would be more successful in army, a rural person or an urban person?
Maybe a rural person, in my opinion.
Others, if they can
Yeah,
answer.
same. I think yeah, same rural
Rural,
person
yeah,
would be
same.
more appropriate than an urban person.
Everybody participating in this would understand that rural is a common sense answer. It comes very common sensical to us that आर्मी है, यहाँ पे स्ट्रेंथ की जरूरत है, यहाँ पे एफर्ट्स की जरूरत है, जहाँ पे हार्डवर्क की जरूरत है, वहाँ पे एक रूरल पर्सन वुड बी अ बेटर फिट, राइट? But how do we define success? Success is, I said, who would be more successful, right? And we define success with money, we define success with designation, we define success with power, right? And when we say in army, there would be more brigadiers and generals and captains who are coming from a urban setup, right? Who has some education background, who are there from good metros, who had that exposure to education, who had that exposure to uh, good facilities. And then you would have jawans who come from a rural setup, maybe. This was a study done, and 99.7% people generally reacted to this with the answers that you guys had, that rural people would be more successful in an army setup. But if we study the best of the best armies in the world, most successful positions are held by people who come from the urban setup. We answered something with our common sense, and it was challenged by a very simple argument. And once we have that other side of argument, we find that yes, the other side of the information also seems really right? So what exactly is then common sense, and is common sense always correct, right? Common sense is when you take decisions, or when you you make a choice very easily, very commonsensically. It seems very obvious to you. Choice making is very easy when it is common sense, because it is very obvious to us, right? But is that choice that we have taken based on reality or our reality? Is it the actual reality, or it is the reality as per our understanding, right? We take decisions based on the realities which are our reality, which is based on the knowledge that we have. Maybe it is not the universal knowledge, or it is not the universal reality. When we take decisions based on our reality, it is called as biases, right? And there are multiple kind of biases. There are cognitive biases, there are optimistic biases. Overconfidence is one of the bias. Then we have this anchoring bias, we have this halo bias, where we think certain things to be real, but they are real based on our understanding. Actual reality may be something different, right? Our common sense decision making fails because we use our system one to take our decisions based on our reality. Um, there's another study that I want to share with you guys, which is that there was a study done by a very famous psychologist on where a game of chess was shown to a lot of different chess players. There were chess players who were distributed into three groups: Group A, B, C. Group A were the masters, the game masters of chess. Group B were amateurs who understand how chess is played, but they are not as good as masters. And Group C, who know the basic rules of chess, but they don't generally understand chess really well. So ABC were the groups. They were shown a half played game of chess. They were shown half played game of chess. The masters, the group A, could predict an average of 35 moves of that game. The group B could predict an average of 7 moves ahead of that half played game. And group C could predict 1 or 2 moves. Here we can really, our common sense says that yes, the masters, they've played the game so much that their predictions are much, they're trained, their mind are trained to predict more and more moves. And the amateurs, and so for the amateurs, and so for the newbies. Now the same study was done with the same group, by showing them not an half played game, but a randomly arranged game. So this time the game was not played halfly, it was, the pieces were arranged randomly, right? In this case, all the three groups could predict a similar number of moves, 3 to 4 moves, because here for the C group, which were they just know the rules but they don't play, could see that there are multiple possibilities, but without getting entrapped. The amateurs could see that there are multiple possibilities, but they're stuck because they don't know. It is a randomly arranged set, so they would not be able to comprehend what is going to happen. Same goes with the masters. What we understand from this psychology study is that unless and until you have practiced and understood a system, it is very difficult to make decisions ahead. So unless and until you have enough knowledge of certain thing, it becomes very difficult to take decisions in that particular activity, be it in your personal or professional journey, right? So knowledge becomes very important to assist you in taking decisions, right? As soon as you know that, okay, when you see this picture and you know, okay, yes, this is another way to observe the universe, you would realize that decision making becomes easy. And there are two sources of knowledge. You get knowledge from education, of course, and you get knowledge from experiences. my my question is that how much of us take effort in our own respective field, say it in our business, say it in our professional life, say in our hobby, to build our experience and build our knowledge, build our education, so that it helps in developing the knowledge of us in a particular field, so much so that decision making becomes like common sense to us. When you have a better sense of reality, you have better control, and you take better, faster decisions, and it seems very commonsensical for you. So, an expert of a certain field would say, "अरे ये तो simple है, ये तो मुझे पता है, या तो अरे it is obvious." It is obvious to you because you are the expert of that. So now every time a challenge comes to you, it is already presented in front of you so many times before. It is already in your experience, it is already in your knowledge, so much so that now every time the challenge comes up to you again, it becomes a common sense decision making for you. The common sense mindset is a mindset where you are on a journey of a lifelong learning curve, where you say that I would try certain things, so much so that every time I'm presented with a new challenge in a similar field, I would understand it, I would build my experience, I'll build my knowledge, so that the next time my making becomes faster and I become an expert. That's when I say that it's common sense. So common sense is not automatic. Common sense is not easy. Common sense is built over the time. It's built over with your education. It's built over with your experience. And so it is not common because every person has different fields of expertise, has different field of knowledge, has different experiences to learn from, right? It's a continuous process to evolve, mature, build consciousness in the journey of your life, of your professional career, of anything, of becoming an expert. So, the term common sense mindset is a mindset where you say that my decision making should not take a certain, more than a certain time, right? I should be very efficient in taking decision making. And this is where I say that you have built a common sense mindset. Sachin Tendulkar faces a ball coming at him, towards him, at 150 kilometers, 140 kilometers an hour, right? So if you guys ride a two-wheeler, you would understand that racing a scooty more than 70 kilometers an hour, 80 kilometers an hour, and gives you an adrenaline. It gives you a thrill, right? And Sachin Tendulkar is facing a ball coming at him at 140 kilometers an hour consistently in 22 yards, and facing each ball equally on its merit, hitting it for sixes, hitting it for four, right? In that split second, he has to make the decision. He has to judge the speed, he has to judge the bounce, he has to judge the swing, and he has to see the field, choose the shot, make the shot, right? Every decision comes to him as a common sense. Because I've practiced this so much, I've gone through this process so much so that now the ball comes and I just hit it for a six, right? I see the ball, I hit it. The between thing comes naturally, the between thing comes commonsensically to it. That's how I call it. Experts take commonsensical decisions, and for you guys to become expert of anything, you need to know so much, you have to practice it so much so that you have complete knowledge and experience in that field. Now, coming up to the second part of it, which is brand parenting and branding, right? So, Divyaji, if we can have your question again, so everybody who is just joining or maybe but disconnected with your question, and then I can answer and then I can connect it with what I've been saying till now.
Sure. My question was, how do we uh, realize that the problems that we face, the crisis that we face in an entrepreneurial journey or in a business per se, how do we relate that with a deep sense of common sense? Because at the point of time, like you just mentioned, the reality seems to be different for each individual in the crisis. The business reality might be different, and the individual reality might be different. How do we let
Right.
it not affect the brand as it is?
Right. And that's where we come to another topic, which is parenting. In a parenting journey, similar stuff happens, right? In a parenting journey, every child is different, every problem is different, and every parent see that problem in a different eye, right? As grandparents, you would see different challenges, and that every challenge that you see would be the first time for you. First time for you. Uh, by understanding what biases you may be into, right? By understanding that are you into a bias, and evaluating your own sense of reality and being fair to it is where you take better decisions, because now you are evaluating, questioning every thought that comes in your mind. And that would be more clear with our topic or discussions ahead. uh, Branding or brand, right, is the last ultimate step of marketing. We start with the goal in mind that okay, eventually we have to become a brand, eventually we have to reach to New York when we are setting sail, right? But reaching New York is the destination. It's becoming a brand is a destination. There would be new goals after it, but what would matter in between is the journey, right? And the journey would be presented with a lot of challenges, a lot of hurdles, which you'll have to solve by taking decisions. Every decision you take would be based on your knowledge, your experience. The speed of the decision would depend that if you have seen that before, have you experienced that before, that the decision making would come commonsensical if you have already known the situation, right? This branding as a journey, I would like to compare it with parenting, right? I think that I almost everybody here is a parent. Those I see faces, I see them as parent, I believe,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
we have raised kids. We have raised kids, right? And if you want to compare, just take it as an analogy and say, compare brands with kids, right? It all starts with an idea which comes up in our mind that okay, we need to do something, and then we seed that idea. We partnership. We collaborate with others. We give birth to this idea. We start an enterprise. We start a business, and then the business is very new. You fund the business, you empower the business, you give your time, energy, your dedication, everything to that business. You give all your energies to that business. The business in its young age doesn't understand how to handle itself. It cannot take care of its own expenses. It cannot manage its own challenges. It can't manage its own difficulties. You as a parent handle it that through all the difficulties. Then maybe your kid is in, say, in early teenage. The business is also, when it is young, it would show tantrums to you. It will show that it wants to pivot into different ideas, into different markets. It would show you that your vendors, you want to try new vendors, you want to take new risk. That's how I say that the brand would have its own teenage also. And then the brand would mature. The uh, brand would be able to take its own decision, maybe fund its own marketing and fund its own employees. Then the founders may not pump in more money, and then it would take care of itself when it is matured, right? And then as you grow old, as the child would take care of you, your brand would then take care of you, right? So it's an analogy that fits in really well, where we say that brand can be looked up as your child, right? And uh, decision making, what what it takes to have decision making in this process of brand parenting, right? Brand parenting. So as parents, uh, we use this term a lot, the power of language. वी से दैट अगर हम हमारे बच्चे को एक सर्टन वे से ट्रीट करेंगे, अगर हम हमारे बच्चों से एक सर्टन लैंग्वेज में बात करेंगे, तो हमारे बच्चे हमको उसी लैंग्वेज में रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे, राइट? आई बिलीव हिंदी इन बिटवीन इज ओके, फाइन. If there's a challenge, I'll stick to English. But
Yes, so we can have
when
a bit Hindi and English. It's not a problem.
if we, when we speak in an mother tongue, it comes from heart, right?
Absolutely.
So uh, uh, so 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 that's the power of language, right? We as parents, we understand this, as mothers, you guys would definitely understand that the way you speak in your mind, the way you speak with your kids, the way the upbringing happens, right? So you are a very positive person. You see that positivity going passing up in your kids. You are a very hard person. You are a very determined person. You are a very disciplined person. You are a very punctual person, and you see your kid picking it up, right? So that's the power of language. When when you are thinking something in your mind, it converts into thoughts, and that thoughts convert into your language, and that language converts into your action. These actions convert into your personality, and that's how you are also grooming your kid, right? Grooming your kid's personality. So as parents, we understand that, right? I'll just keep speaking it as a parent, right? In back of the mind, you think of a brand, and you would realize that the brand also gets groomed in a similar way, right? My question is that when we when we have this language, do we sit and actively listen to what we are saying or what our kids are saying back to us, right? Do we take a pause, wait, comprehend, and then take a decision? While raising a kid, we definitely do. So if a kid is throwing a tantrum to us, we would not just immediately yell at the kid. We will not just immediately uh, scold the kid, right? We will sit back, we will understand, we'll comprehend, we will take a pause, we'll actively listen what is that the kid is willing to say. So the kid is crying, the kid is being cranky, but maybe it is not because, or kid is demanding some toy, but maybe it is not demanding the toy. The kid is hungry, but the kid is not able to comprehend his thoughts and into words, and showing it to you as crankiness. But are you actively listening to it as a parent? Same goes with the brand. When your brand is throwing challenges towards you, when the brand is throwing different difficulties at you, maybe your vendors are not behaving right, maybe your employees are not behaving right, maybe your finances are not aligned towards your goals. Are you taking that step back? Are you taking that pause and trying to listen to the challenge? एक सिंपल एग्जांपल बोलता हूँ, मैंने बुक में मैंने एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल लिखा है. Say if I'm a tea vendor, I'm a tea stall owner who, and somebody comes enjoy a tea at my stall and say that भैया आपकी चाय तो एकदम कड़क है. Okay. And now how do I listen to this? How do I actively listen to this? चाय तो कड़क है, तो बहुत स्ट्रांग है क्या? क्या उसमें चीनी कम है इसीलिए कड़क है? कड़क है तो वो आपके लिए सही है, तो क्या सबके लिए सही है क्या? कड़क है इसका मतलब when somebody says कि आपकी चाय तो कड़क है, तो is he actually liking it, and so he is calling it kadak, because kadak can be strong chai and kadak could be a very good product, right? But am I actively listening to the feedback of my audiences, my customers, comprehending it, and then building my language, then building my internal language and taking my decisions? Similarly, am I listening to my own thoughts also? Am I actively listening to my thoughts? कितनी बार ऐसा होता है कि as entrepreneurs you sit in your cabin and then you get just frustrated because you are just thinking of all negative things happening around. But then if you sit, take a pause, observe your self talk. What are you thinking? What are you talking to yourself? If you could just list down that on a piece of paper कि मेरे दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है अभी, मेरे दिमाग में ये चल रहा है यार, लोग ठीक से रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दे रहे, लोग काम नहीं हो रहा है, फाइनेंस वाले लोग परेशान कर रहे हैं, वेंडर्स परेशान कर रहे हैं, कस्टमर्स डिमांड अनरियलिस्टिक डिमांड कर रहे हैं, सेल्स वाले वो डिमांड को मैच, अगर मैं यही सब सोच रहा हूँ तो क्या मैं वो सब पेपर पे लिख सकता हूँ? और अगर मैं पेपर पे लिखूं तो मुझे रियलाइज होगा कि योर सेल्फ टॉक हैज अ लैंग्वेज. Active listening to your self-talk have a language, and you are comprehending that language now. And you are realizing that as the leader, as an entrepreneur, what language are you encouraging? Are you encouraging a negative language? Are you encouraging a pessimistic language? Are you encouraging a language which is not aligned to your initial goal setting, right? And there, when you sit, understand. Now, going back to our common sense as a topic. If you really want to take better, faster decisions, you have to practice, you have to take experiences, you have to build your knowledge so that you take better, faster decisions. As a brand parent, you need to know what language your kid is speaking to you and what language you have towards your kid. What's your self-talk? What's your self ideas for the kid, for the brand? And there where you understand the brand in a better sense. Brand in a better sense. You would realize that now you are a parent to your brand. And then, as every parent do, they just don't sit on the fence, right? They take risk. They encourage their kids to achieve new heights. They encourage their kids to try new things. Swimming सीखना है तो पानी में फेंकना पड़ेगा. Business में, if you have to want your brand to do a lot of things, you try new stuff. You take new risk, right? You take few risks. And that's how you do, I say in my way, do brand parenting, right? To sum up, before I take questions from you all, and then also if I have not answered Divya's question, we can discuss more on that. To sum up, life is a journey, and journey is not simple. Journey will give you a lot of challenges. Journey will throw a lot of difficulties at you. All that you have to do in that difficulties is take decisions. Take decisions by choosing the right choice for you, yourself, for your brand, for your company, right? These choices that you make need to be efficient and effective, right? It should be efficient because you have limited resources, and it should be effective. That's how you make profit. That's how you add value, right? To take better decisions, you have to practice. You have to build your education. You have to build your experiences, and that's how you take better decisions. I call it as a common sense mindset. I call it that when decision making becomes common sense to you, that's how I say that you are an expert. Once you are an expert, then nobody can touch you. Then we come to a topic of parenting. When we say that a as your kid needs a parent who understand their language, who understand their aspirations, who understand their orientations. As brand parents, you should understand what your brand is talking to you, and also you do self talk where you understand your thought process, you understand the language that you're speaking to with yourself, and then comprehend that and overcome your biases. That's how you overcome your biases. That's how you know that what is your reality. See, what is the global reality, you may not be able to judge unless and until you are there. You are the expert of that particular situation, right? And eventually you would become the expert. But even if it is a bias, how much close it is to the reality is what you need to understand. And how much close you are to the reality is where you would take a pause, actively listen to your self talk, actively listen to your brand. What is your brand? What is your business is telling you? Is your customer giving you the right feedback? Is your employees giving you the correct feedback? Is your financial statements giving you the correct feedback? You listen to it, right? And that's how you overcome your biases. मैं बहुत ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ, इसीलिए मैंने एक डिसीजन ले लिया, बट मेरे फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स वैसा बता नहीं रहे, मेरे कस्टमर्स मुझे वैसा फीडबैक नहीं दे रहे, मार्केट स्टडी वैसा फीडबैक नहीं दे रही है, then you are away from reality and then you are more into the bias. But by actively listening, by doing the self talk, by understanding, by overcoming your biases and getting closer to the reality, your commonsensical decision making would be better. That's what is I wanted to say when I say brand parenting and common sense marketing mindset.
I think that was
Questions?
absolutely wonderful, Anuj ji, because I was really able, example, when you're talking about brand parenting, the brand as it is from the date of its inception to the evolution, the kind of the journey that you summarized. I think it's really part of. I don't think it's all in books, or it's only from experience and the kind of education that we have learned it as it is, where to apply what. And I think that literally summarizes where to use common sense and how the mindset as it is has to evolve in a person that will reflect in the brand as it is. Uh,
Right?
uh, we would like
Exactly.
to
You
take
as
questions also. Anuj, is it okay if we start taking questions now?
yes, please, yes, please.
Swapna, can we start taking questions from members from the chat room, please?
Yes. So the chat room is open, and members can put in their questions. That they would have. I just have one question, Anuji. We really
Yes.
spoke in length about the common sense marketing and of course the brand parenting. But I think somewhere in the entire journey, I think mindset plays a very important role. In terms of how do we really focus ourselves, because I think that's where a lot of decisions really don't go or may not be right, or could be a little up and down. So how do we really rather gauge our thought process when we're really putting all of this together to either creating our goals or even creating our brand? Because I think the outside noises are too many. So how we could really focus on them is if we could really.
Totally agree with you. The mindset pay. So common sense mindset. We dissected common sense a lot, and then comes the question that how do we develop that? What's mindset as such? So say for example, today I decided to give importance to fitness because it's New Year and everybody is taking resolution to be fitter, and so today I take a decision to be a fitter me, right? and uh, and I go to a gym, right? But inside in my mind, I don't give importance to fitness. I'm just giving importance to the resolution. I'm just giving importance to the New Year stuff. I'm not giving importance to fitness as such in my mind. So I'm not in the right mindset to give to be in that fitness regime, or maybe in that fitness routine, because I'm not giving importance to it in my mind. So it's very important as a parent to give importance to whatever you are doing, and say that okay, when I'm doing this, it is important to me. As mothers, you guys have this mindset, right? Nobody comes and train you to be a good mother, right? You have that mindset because you're mentally there. You know that it's a decision that you have taken, and you have to back that. You would never go back from that decision, come what may, right? So common sense mindset is a mindset where you say that, boss, I have to be an expert in whatever I am so that I take better, faster decisions. Decisions to me should come in split seconds. If I am taking time to make any decision, I would practice, I would explore, I would build my knowledge in a way where I take better, faster decisions. And that's the mindset that I'm saying is common sense mindset. You fix it in your mind that, boss, this is the most important thing for us. Mindset, if dissected, is of two types, right? One mindset is that ये तो नहीं होगा हमसे. It's a fixed mindset where you say that either fixed mindset is like where you are either positively fixed or negatively fixed, but you're fixed. You're not ready to grow, right? You're either saying कि मुझसे होगा नहीं, or you're saying that मुझे जरूरत नहीं है. In both the cases, you are in fixed mindset. So Those who say that मुझसे नहीं होगा are taking it negatively. Those who are saying that मुझे जरूरत नहीं है, अंगूर खट्टे में भी, or maybe I know it all, मुझे शायद I am in my own biases, I am not ready to listen to the difficulties that people, that the business. So my kid is trying to tell me something, but I am in my fixed mindset that no, I know this is, you don't need this, you don't need. The kid is crying, the kid is throwing tantrums, but you're not ready to listen because you are in fixed mindset. You're not in that evolving, growing, learning mindset. You cannot learn, you cannot be on a journey where you don't take risk. You cannot be on a journey where you don't uh, challenge yourself and learn new things every time, right? So you need to be in the growth mindset, learning mindset, and you have to just decide and just have to be there. That goes in both the cases, right? In your parenting as well as in your branding journey.
Right, sir. Right, right. So in this, I also a lot of times, a lot of startups, even probably we also have this question that when we are really looking at, branding per se, our a company brand. So, what is the right time that you really start with your branding? Because there's a lot of confusion that initially you need to do your branding and then then get a product in the market, or you get a product in the market and then do the branding. So what is it that really works in the right way? And if you could
branding is
describe.
not branding is not something. Branding is a result. Branding is a
Hmm.
result. Say for example, I am preparing for an exam, right? And I'm preparing to get a certain percentage, or I'm preparing to certain marks, right? I cannot build those marks before I start. I cannot say that I am a 70% student and I'm going to get 70, and 70 से 1% ज़्यादा नहीं, 1% 70 ऐसा दिखना चाहिए, 70 का ये कलर होना चाहिए नहीं. I just prepare to be to give that exam, right? And I give that exam, and whatever marks I get is the whatever result I have is the brand, right? So brands is an ever. So uh, मैं मेरे स्टूडेंट्स के साथ ये शेयर करता हूँ. आप लोग मालूम नहीं आपके ग्रुप में वो एग्जांपल सही होगा कि नहीं, बट देयर इज अ कॉमिक कॉल्ड बैटमैन, okay? And there's very famous villain of Batman called Joker, right? And Joker says that if Batman catches me or catches hold of me, then my life is finished. Or if I end Batman, even then my life is finished. So the only thing that I enjoy is the journey where I keep troubling Batman, and then Batman keep chasing me. And that's the story of my life. And if that finishes, then there's nothing to enjoy. Where branding is similar stuff. Branding is always evolving, growing, developing. Today I am a certain brand, certain type of people know me, certain group resonate with my idea. Tomorrow I would want it to be better, right? I want to increase my positioning. आप कोई भी बड़े brand के साथ ले लो, it's always a continuous process. It is never that you have become a brand. Logo, the name, these are all those steps that would take you to that destination, right? आपका वैल्यू सिस्टम है, आपका वैल्यू सिस्टम, आपका लोगो, आपका नाम, आपके आपका आपका language, the way you speak out, the way people perceive about you is an ongoing process. Once you have achieved a goal, say for example, I have a company which doesn't want to expand from a certain level. It's an educational institute. When I started we were 60 students. Today we are at 900 students. Our founder always wanted that, okay, मेरे सारे batches full होने चाहिए. That's the only thing that I want. 900 students is the maximum that they can intake, or else they would not do justice. Now there is nothing much to grow in that, right? Can we say that now, without taking any marketing efforts, without doing any sales effort, if I am able to get those 900 students year on year, can I safely say that I am a brand? Yes, because what does brand do? Brand is like it. I enjoy brand because that brand is giving me sales help, helping my sales. That is helping my marketing without me doing much. That's when I call it a brand. So it's not about being a multinational or being only the Tatas, being only the Apples, being on brand is if you have a goal and if you achieve that goal, And if you have better goals, see, goals are ever evolving. Today, maybe I have a goal in 5 years, maybe it is irrelevant. I would have a better, bigger goal, right? But brand is that journey to keep you to on track on that goal, right? So don't get, well, generally I see people getting confused with brand as logos, right? Shapurji Palanji is a name which is a famous name. It's a brand. If they would have just sat and said कि अरे नाम किसी को बोलते नहीं आएगा, या लीला लीला मतलब लीला ग्रुप ऑफ होटल्स, मतलब ये कौन सा ग्रुप है, मतलब लीला क्या नाम का होटल, या टाटा क्या नाम है ये, बट इफ दे वुड हैव स्टार्ट एंड डिबेटेड ऑन द नेम, then they would have never started, right? It's not in the name, it's not in the logo, it's in the journey and what goals you set and how you achieve that goals.
Right. Thank you so much. I think this is really wonderful that it's a journey. I mean, that is something which is really an eye opener. Thank you so much for this. And I hope I didn't bother you too much with my questions, but in case I have more, I will come back to the conversation.
In fact, both the questions, the mindset thing and the brand thing, are the things which generally small startup entrepreneurs get occupied into. They get so much occupied into that they forget this. So that's what I say. It's all common sense. It's just that exposure to it is limited.
Correct.
So,
right.
And as entrepreneurs, there are only 7 functions that you need to be mastering to, right? There are only 7 functions. You need to be masters as entrepreneur of marketing, sales, accounts, finance, HR, research and development, and operations. These are the only 7 functions you need to master. If you break down all these 7 functions into small chunks and try to understand it, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. And marketing being the start and the end, right? Marketing is where you create the value and you make the brand. So it's the start and the end. Understanding marketing sometimes help you to become better business owners or become better entrepreneurs.
Correct. Yes. So I think there is this good specific definition of marketing and branding, because often it's been confused, between the two. But I think today we really have a clarity on marketing and branding. So branding comes post the marketing, because marketing is where you create your brand value within the journey, and then the branding is what comes.
Right. To simply say what marketing is to make people realize that there is some value in you, right? So if you have a product, the product is product, right? But the value that the people would see in your product is marketing. So maybe I'm selling a pen, but my pen is just a product. But why my pen is the marketing part. Why my pen? What's the value that you would see by using my pen, right? That's the marketing part. While doing this consistently, the brand is going to be there.
Correct. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. It was a fantastic insight. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Divya, over to you.
In fact, I was able to very much, relate when Mr. Anuj was saying about the 7 functions as an entrepreneur that one needs to master to scale up the business, to evolve as a brand and everything. Undoubtedly, I can assure that the marketing, the branding is undoubtedly the value addition point, which clearly indicates the USPs of one's product and services to the public eye, which sometimes as business owners in the journey it might get lost, or we might not even be thinking that we need to say it out loud. You need to go out roaring, explaining these. But I think marketing and branding can bring that visibility to you on your platter, which I was able to have. These were the thoughts I was having in the back of my mind when this question and answers was being held. It was a really wonderful session, Mr. Anuj. Thank you so much. Although online, and of course, we are live streaming this on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. It was very wonderful from your, we could really see your passion for what you're doing. You could resonate it with a very lively anecdote, such as a parenting, where you relate brand value addition to parenting. And as mothers, as women entrepreneurs, it's very easy for us to relate and understand the journey as it is and how enriching it is to evolve in this space. It was a wonderful, enriching session. Thank you so much for participating in our first Visionary Women's Circle coffee meet. Thank you so much, Anuj.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Chala.
All right, ladies
Thank
and
you so much.
gentlemen, we also have another session which is going to resume by 12:10. Please do not go anywhere. Stay with us and join us back on this coffee meet. Over to Swapna. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. It was wonderful to have you all, and yes, and indeed a very valuable session by Mr. Anuj Agarwal. I'm sure a lot of us are taking away a lot of key takeaways from this session. And yes, as Divya already said, we have another session with yet another power-packed personality, Mr. Rajnickant, and we'll see you at 12:10. So stay tuned. The link will be same, and we'll get back to you on live at 12:10. Thank you so much.